Hello everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So we're doing a lot of pre-filming today and I look crazy. And I don't know what's going on with my lip, but that just decided to appear. And my nose is peeling. It's just like a rough moment for my life. But anyway, we are still gonna film what's in my empty palette. I couldn't remember the word, that's why I danced, but you know what, just awkward anyway. So I've shown this in the past couple videos, some of the past videos, my shop, my stash, stuff like that. I actually decided just to clean it out, make it beautiful, put them in an organized order, and then go from there, see what shades fit and stuff like that. So this is how this baby looks right now. We're gonna go over each shade, why it's in here, talk about this palette a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of it, this whole video. So yeah, just sit back, grab a little snack because this video is not going to be long. So a little snack. The sweater has paint all over it. I'm so I love the sweater. I painted a set and it's beautiful. So I'm just going to let the sweater rock with all the paint everywhere. We are going to do some swatches. Well, I don't know if we'll do the whole thing, but we'll swatch some of them. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So I wanted this palette to be my go-to summer palette. This palette I could, go on the go, take with me on trips, vacation, and just know that I'm going to get the best summer shades in here. Whatever I needed, neutrals to pinks to corals, just to really perfect summer shades. So I picked 3 palettes that I kind of wanted to eventually get out of my collection, use them into their entirety, use them, I don't know how to say that, but I wanted to use the entire palette, each shade included. And so I already had my Dream Street palette, was in my project pan. Sorry about the camera switch, but although my project pan was for, I wanted to hit pan on all the shades, I eventually wanted it to be, I wanted to use up all the shades because I just don't want a palette sitting in my collection because I know I'm not going to use it after there's pan in all of them. So I wanted to focus them in a palette that I know I can use the majority of it up. So I chose the Dream Street palette, of course. I also chose my Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. This palette, I like this palette. I do. Some of the shades I took out. This shade is completely empty, which is the shade Mercury. Adorn has significant pan on it. This shade Sucks Cube, and so it ended up crumbling apart and falling out of the palette. So that's why there's pan in it. And then this one, as you can see, All Star has pan in it. It had pan in it, but it also then, once I tried to depot it, ruined the rest of it. So we just took that out of the Z palette anyway because it's not really summer and I'm not going to use that in the summer. So this palette, I really just wanted to use up these shades. I love this palette and I do like the looks I can come up with it, but it's nothing super special anymore in my collection. There are shades that I like more, there are palettes that I like more, and so I didn't want this to go to waste. The only shades that might go to waste, honestly, are Electric and Cube, but that's because I'm not going to use those shades ever in my life. Like, I can't even force myself. I might be able to finagle Electric a little bit, but Cube definitely not. And then these 2 dark ones, these 3 dark ones, I might end up having to just get a Z palette, an empty palette, and putting all my deep shades in there, like from browns to blacks to dark blues, because I have so many of them, honestly, because a lot of the palettes that you see now are going to do neutrals and then they'll do pops of blues and deeper blues like this just to add some color. So that's what a lot of them did, including my Dream Street palette. As you can see, the pops of blues in there. So I might just have to get a palette and put all these browns in there and stuff like that because I'm not going to use them up as fast as I'd like to, but I would like to get these palettes out of my collection by the end of the year. So we might just have to get one and then put them all in there, which I'll work on that. And then the last palette that the last shades you will see in my, not the last, and then the last palette that I took shades from was the Jaclyn Hill palette. So this is a huge mama, and I did not want to pan this whole thing this year because it would just take up too much time and I wasn't willing to do that. So I actually took out some of the shades. I tried to take out, oh, there she goes. I was just trying to tell you about Pukey. I tried to take it out and then it broke, and so now it's on the floor, crumbled. My camera keeps changing, I'm sorry, it just keeps moving. But it didn't crack completely. I will tape it in there so that it doesn't do that again, because that was annoying. Taking the shades out of this palette is kind of hard, and I don't want to like ruin all the shades trying to get them out. So I decided just to take out the ones that I super knew I could use over the summer. So I definitely eventually over the summer, I think I'm going to end up pulling these two, this whole row probably, because this is probably the most summer-esque. This all down here is just, I'm not going to use this ever in the summer. This shade probably eventually, maybe once or twice, but the rest of these are just not going to get used really. So we are not going to focus on this too much. These shades, probably this row, these two rows, as well as this across, we'll be able to use, but the rest of them probably not. So yeah, so I pulled shades from here because again, it's just so huge. I don't use it all the time. And although everybody loves this palette, everyone and their mom loves this palette, and that every declutter I've seen, everyone keeps their Jaclyn Hill palette because they're like, it's so good, da 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 da. It's great, it's beautiful, it is a really nice palette. It's very, you get a lot of shades for a good price if you like to only have one palette in your life, but it's just not the best quality. It's really not. I have better shadows, as well as I have better palettes that I like to use more and that I feel are more efficient for me and what I like to do. Like, I like to be able to just visualize a look and boom, but this one just takes too much because there's so many different shades and stuff. So I don't know, it's not my favorite anymore. I really used to love it, and I'll be sad to see it go, but it won't be for a while till I see this whole thing go. But I did want to just focus on that right now and try to get some of the shades, as many shades as possible, get them used up, because I don't want this just to sit in my collection until it goes bad, or until I can't use it anymore, or it's too old, which I've seen a lot of people, you know, do with their shadows and their shades and their palettes. They're kind of like, oh, it's too old, I can't use it, so they throw it out. And I'm like, I do not want to be that person, because that is terrible. People want stuff like this, and people can't afford stuff like this. Not everyone can afford stuff like this, and although we'd call it cheap, other people will call that super expensive. Like, who would pay for that? And so I really want to just use it and, you know, show that I enjoy what I have. So those are the three palettes that are going to be mainly in this. We have a couple extra shadows from a different palette, which I'll talk about in a second when I get in there, but these are mainly the ones that I kind of want to use up. So, okay, so let's go into the palette. This is what it looks like. I got this off of Amazon, and for Dream Street and Subculture, the shades actually magnetize into the palette. So this is a magnet back here, and the metal obviously magnets to it. But the Jaclyn Hill palette does not have magnets. As you can see, it's cardboard in there. So putting the cardboard ones in here obviously don't magnetize, and then the ones that like the ColourPop ones, they do magnetize, so you can just pull it right out and just stick it right back in, and it doesn't fall out at all. So I really like those. The ones that are from my Jaclyn Hill palette or don't magnetize in here, I put tape on them because I don't want them to fall out. So yes, this is how this baby looks right now. I really didn't want to put any broken shades in here. This one is starting to fall apart, but it has not been cracking really. So we'll see if it keeps cracking. If it does crack, I'll take it out because I don't want this to be dirty anymore. But for now, it looks alright. Alright, so let's get into it. The first ones over here are obviously Subculture. They're the only squares. I think I could fit one more Subculture shade up here, but I don't know if I have one that I really want in this row. So this is the shade New Wave down here, this like orangey shade. I think like a yellow kind of look might be really pretty for summer. So I'm kind of trying to experiment with those because I do want to use them again, like I said. So I think those might be pretty, like orangey yellow, I don't know, these two right here. So this is New Wave, and this is Edge, that yellowy shade. It is super pretty. I can swatch them both. They're really nice. I'm just not into yellows that much, and so I really just want to try them out, see how I like them, because I have them, you know? And then this last one is super pretty. This is the shade Roxy, and I don't know why I've never used Roxy before, but this shade is so gorgeous. I've been wearing it all week because I've just been into that like that spring kind of look, and this is so gorgeous. I don't know why I slept on that shade, because that shade is gorgeous. But those are the three that I think right now I can put a lot of use into over the spring and summer kind of time. And then this next row is Dream Sheet shades. So this is the shade Sweet Dreams up here. This is the shade Moony right here. And this is the shade Shooting Star right here. So these three shades are obviously there in my Pan That palette. I've been using this one as a highlighter, this one as an inner corner highlight, and this one as a crease shade, and I've gotten so much good use on these. I just felt like, hey, why not continue to use them, keep them in there, give them some good use. So I'm actually focusing on these three Dream Sheet shades this month. So I will take them out of here eventually, but this is how the palette will look basically most of the summer. So that's what I wanted to show you. But I wanted to take these out. I'll take these out so I can really focus on them, but these three, but I just wanted to keep the whole thing together. Like I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. But yes, so these have gotten a lot of love so far. I can't wait to like just use them up, really, honestly. But yeah, I like them. And then these next three shades are actually from my Juvia's palette, my Nubian Mini by Juvia's Place. These three right here. They don't have shade names, they didn't in the palette, but they're just the neutral shades that I think are going to be really easy to use with any look you do, because you just need a regular transition shade for basically any look. And then this shade is like a shimmer that I think would be so pretty like over the summer. It's just like a silver, but like not super silver kind of shade, and I think, oh my gosh, that's gonna be so pretty with like some pink in the crease. That would be pretty. That would be good. So we just want to use those up. This one's actually in my project pan, this top one right here. So we were trying to get her done as well. And then these next three shades are in from my Jaclyn Hill palette, as well as these two over here. So these like 5 right here, the 5 bigger ones are in my Jaclyn Hill palette. So okay, so this bottom one is Silk Cream, I believe. This top one is MFEO, I don't know how to say that. And then this one in the middle here is the shade Butter. So we were trying to use those as well, because again, they're just basic transition shades that I think will be really nice for any look. More so this one and this one. I think they all could work for any basic look, honestly, because they're not super deep or super brown, and you could just do some mixing to get a neutral transition shade that I think will be really pretty. So I do want to use those up as well. And then these two over here, this is the shade Sissy, and this is the shade Pool Party. Those are like the color parts of this palette, but I think that those shimmers are going to be really nice in the summer. This blue I am so excited for, because I don't even know what to do with it. I have no idea, but I want it on my eyes because that is gorgeous. I don't know what shades, I gotta look through every single one of my palettes to see what shades will look good in the crease with this one. Maybe like this one over here. I don't know. Even these brown shades don't look perfect. So we're going to experiment with that blue shade, but I really want to give it some use again this summer. And then same with this pink one. I actually wore that in a look already. I think that should be up on my channel right here, but it is just such a pretty shade that I think I'm going to love again for the summer. And then, so I already talked about these 3 Dream Sheet palettes, but this is the shade Magical, this is the shade Spark, and this is the shade Potion, which again I'm focusing on this month to really just put some use into them. And then these 2 shadows are the only 2 like oddballs. They're not really from a palette. These are both from BH Cosmetics palettes though. This one is from the Shan XO palette. I don't know the shade name. I just pulled it out of there. And then this is from like the something Neutrals palette, like Nevo Neutrals, something like that. And again, I pulled that out of there. So we got a lot of depotted. These 2 are just like regular shades. I also did want to mention, when I count my singles at the end of the month, these are not going to be counted in them. These still going to stick with the palette, but the Juvia's Place as well as these 2 singles will be counted in that, because I don't have the rest of the palette anymore. So these I could always put back in their palettes if I really wanted to, but for now this is gonna be my go-to summer palette that I want to use up. So I don't know what I called this video, and I probably introduced it without mentioning that I basically want to use every single one of these shades up, and that's gonna be my goal for, we'll assess the situation in September, but for now this is my goal, and I want to use as much as I can of this palette up. So yeah, that's really it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Just talking about some stuff. This palette will probably switch out every season because probably I'll keep these the same for spring and summer, but it'll switch out like for fall and winter, obviously. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I haven't done one of these before. I haven't talked about what was in my empty palette. I also want to say I have this other like Makeup Forever little tin that I do have some other shimmers in, but I think that are just, these are prettier for fall, I feel like. So I'm not really focusing on those, but these babies are going to get some love and hopefully get used up. So that is it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I look crazy. Bye, guys.